Hello everyone, welcome to another session with me. Hope you're enjoying the series. The series is on Tangled Motifs, creating beautiful motifs, designs, trying beautiful arrangements and shapes and filling them up with beautiful Zentangle patterns and tangles, right? So this is what we did in the last session and today I'm going to do one more. So this is a special one because I plan to launch it as a tangle also, and it is very much a nice motif to draw, right? It can be used as a motif or as a tangle standalone. So what I did here on my paper is drew a square just for reference, right? You can use your square tile for reference, and found out the center by drawing this cross and then added an orb in the center, yeah, small orb. So I'm going to use the reference of this square today and start with this orb in the center like this, and then I'm going to use the Wells grid, right? So going to give a nice curve and add this Wells kind of grid, right? So add a nice curve, trace a part of this orb and then give a nice curve, right? Again trace a part of this orb and give a nice curve. Again trace a part of this curve and give a nice curve, right? So this is the Wells grid. This is how we draw the tangle Wells, which is a Zentangle original. And then I'm going to come back and give it a pencil kind of shape like this, yeah. So what I did is give a small curve at the end, roll it in, and then come back and give it a pencil kind of shape like this, yeah. Come back, roll it in, just like we drew the tangle Tamisolo, right? Again come back, give a nice curl and come back and give a pencil kind of a look, yeah. The next thing I'm going to do is just extend this shape like this so it looks more like a pencil. So taking the curve a little forward and joining it like this, taking the curve a little forward, joining it like this, taking this curve a little forward and joining it like this, right? So that was the second step. So once we are done that, the next step is to add some aura starting from here to here. Now it's up to you how many do you want to add. So I'm going to add some, probably 3 of them like this, yeah. So starting from here, 1, give a nice curve, 2 and 3, yeah. Again starting from here, 1, 2 and 3, right? Again starting from here, 1, 2 and 3, right? So that's the motif that we are going to be working on today. So let's now tangle, right? This part I'm just going to add some lines with weight at the end, this triangular part, right? So I'm going to be giving the step outs for this one as a tangle also, right? Very soon I will float it on my Insta page and on my Facebook. So nothing to worry if you are not very clear about how I drew. You can of course always pause the video 10 times and watch it, and I will also come out with formal step outs and deconstruct it. Right? So again, recently Maria came out with this beautiful project where we used wells in so many different ways, and this is one of them. Not one of them, but this is again well inspired, right? And then the last one. So take your time, enjoy, draw each line deliberately with full focus and enjoy it, right? So that's the center. Now this section, it is entirely up to us. How do we want to? I'm going to add one aura to each of these lines, and then you can either choose to ink it or add some tangles inside, whichever way you feel like, but it will add. You can do it that way. Yeah. So I'm adding aura so that if I want to add some pattern or tangle inside, then the three layers look discrete and they don't mix up with each other, right? So that's the whole idea of adding auras. Even if you plan to ink them, it is a good idea to add these auras just like we do for umble. Yeah. Now moving on to the next, that is the pastels. So what I'm going to do here is change my pen to brown pen, right? So I have picked up my brown pen here, right? You can always continue with the black itself, entirely up to you. How do you feel like going about it? So I'm going to use my brown pen here and just fill up this pastel just like mocha, right? So I'm going to switch to my brown pen and add nice mochas inside my pastel. They are basically mix of shapes, and shapes which are very commonly used in Zentangle also. So they are not new. They are very much mocha-ish. They are very much gorgeous like, right? So these shapes are nothing new as far as Zentangle is concerned. So you can always so I'm just going to aura the rest of the spaces, right? You can see here I'm just adding an aura to the spaces that are left behind, adding small little shapes inside the shape, nothing else, right? So that's what I have done here. You can add one more line here like this, add one more aura, right? Simple. Again I'm going to the same here also. Why I am doing this? Because I am using the shape here, right? So I like the shape and I want to use it, so I'm just going with the shape without doing much. Yeah, that's how I generally decide on my tangles, based on the shape. the spaces that is available to me. Yeah, you can see how with minimum of effort you can accommodate nice mochas here and just aura, and it looks beautiful. Yeah. So just go with it. I have done 2 of them. I'll do exactly the same for the rest also. Come down. Mocha is a very versatile tangle. There are a whole lot of ways you can go about using it. This is, you can see here, I'm not doing anything except filling up the spaces using mocha. Yeah. So once we are done with mocha, now we are left with these sections, right? So you can add some orbs. You can leave this part empty, or you can add some nice small little orbs. So I am again switching pens here, going to add some small orbs, little ones, little tipples. This is again optional. You can leave it as it is. You can add some color there. Right, I feel like adding these orbs. You can also add some bronze cheers if you wish to, but I'm going with really small tipples. Right, so take your time, don't haste up, and add these small little tipples in this space. I'm sure it will add to the look of this tangle. Or you can add some bronze shears, even that will look very nice. Yeah, so I'm going to do this here also for all the sections. Take your time and slowly do that exercise. Fill in the space with tipple. So I am done with that exercise of adding small little tipple. Now the last section, you can either add some tangle, something like wood or probably hybrid, or you can just ink it, right? So again, some bit of inking, always a good idea. So just ink this last section with the highlight, and I think it will add a lot of get up to your tangle overall, right? So I'm just going with plain inking here. It is so much easier to rotate a tile, but never mind. Right, so I'm just going to leave a highlight here, or you can do that with your chalk, whatever you're comfortable. Right, you can see how inking adds. So I'm going to do this for all the 4 sides. Just ink this band. You can always use a bolder nib, feel free. Right, so just give a thatched look to the ends, and then from the other side so just by varying the shape and the arrangement, you can see how beautiful the patterns look like. The same tangles, Zentangle. Yeah, this is also abstract. I'm not trying to put it into any more, something discrete like a portrait or something to represent. Just about arrangement, and see how beautiful the same tangles. Okay. So that's the fun of experimenting, trying new things. So I was just scribbling that what can be my next motive, and I came out with this one, and I thought it almost looks like a tangle. It would be nice to name it and float it as a tangle. Yeah. So the last one, take your time and ink it nicely. Don't haste up even if it is inking. Yeah. So that's about our motive for today. Now we have a square here, right? So if you want, you can add something in the background also, or you can leave the motif as it is, right? So let's see if we want to do something there. For that, first thing that I'm going to do is add a nice aura to my pencil also, right? So that if I want to add something in the outside as a background, whether it is color or any other tangle, my pencil is discreet, right? So just adding a nice aura, close aura, right? And then I'm going to ink this square. So adding a nice background will give it a more complete and more like a motif. Right? So just go with some simple fescues, just the way we did in one of our previous sessions also. Right? So I'm just going to do that. Add some plain fescues and aura it and add orbs. That's about it. Yeah? Acts as a nice background. So tangles like fescue, like tipple, excellent backgrounds come to your rescue very easily. You can use it in so many different ways. So build that comfort level with these tangles, because they are really nice as standalone as well as filler tangles. Yeah. So once we are done with that, now you can use your brown pen or you can use your black, whatever you feel like. I will go with black only. So just start to aura each of the fescue closely. Take your time, don't haste up. Aura closely. Yeah. Then I'm going to add one more. Small little spaces, you can comfortably ink it. Add some rounding. add the orbs, right? Again, you can either add orbs or ink it, small little spaces. Right, again add an aura. Take your time. Again add an aura. Yeah. Yeah, that's it, right? So I will do exactly the same exercise for the rest also. Start with adding auras, probably add 2 layers and then add orbs inside. Right? Yeah, that's it. So I'm again going to add one more. You can add some bit of rounding here and there. Yeah. So I'm on the last one now, doing the same exercise of adding auras to my fescue. Yeah, so small little spaces. Start adding the orbs. Add some bit of inking here and there. Yeah, and we are done. Yeah, so that's how our motif for today looks like. Let us now move on to shading. So shading here, shading around the orb, so this is a normal HB pencil and it is no special pencil. Some of my followers were asking what pencil do you use. It is a normal HB pencil. We don't use any special pencil here for shading as far as Zentangle is concerned. However, Zentangle ink recommends the General's brand. So you can always, if you wish and you can find it easily, go with the General's brand. Yeah. This section I'm going to add the pillow effect. Yeah, so I'm just going to darken the edges and leave the center. Like this. Again, it is up to you. How do you want to go about? Yeah, I feel like doing it like this so that my muka is also sufficiently visible. That nice texture that is added, right, is sufficiently visible. So nice to go with some shading at the edges. But again, you feel free to do it the way you wish to. Right, so I'll do the same for other two. So I'm shading the last one here. Yeah, and then some on both sides of the inner band. You need not do anything to the outer one because you already have a highlight there. Yeah, yeah, that's about it. I don't think we need to do anything else. This much shading is enough, right? If you want, you can give a touch of white in this section. Right. A little, just soften it with your hand. A little here. Just blend it with your stub. Use a different stub. Yeah, and we are done. Right? So put in your chalk. So that's our motif for today. I shall see you again with, I think, one last session. Yeah, the 10th one. Till then, have a good time. Bye-bye. Yeah, the tangles that I've used, although I mentioned the names already, but I will do that in my video also, right? So this tangle is mocha, this is fescue, and this grid is wells, right? And the in-between filler is tipple, right? So I'll see you again.